Test 1, 2.
Okay, do you need to hear me? Testing one, two, three. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. My name is Victor, and I am honored to be of service this morning. And I hope that today's service finds each and every one of you happy and healthy. But please know that if you are struggling in any way, our hope is that Temple Buddhist Center, this Sangha, and this community can be a source of strength and refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and to your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with some conscious breath work. A conscious breath is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, holding that breath for a few moments, feeling the fullness of the lungs, and then releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. And of course, if you are, having a hard time with a stuffy nose or something like that, it's okay to breathe any way you possibly can. I know what that's like. So let's begin. Holding that breath for a few moments and releasing slowly. And as you release that breath, bringing your awareness to the body, noticing any points that might be tense or contracted, remembering to release the forehead and unfurrow the eyebrows. The jaw is gentle and easy, the shoulders drop and relax, and the tummy softens and unfolds. And a second conscious breath together. And releasing. And as you release on this second breath, giving ourselves full and complete permission to unplug. Unplug from that energy of going and doing, striving, efforting, checking things off the list. As together in sacred Sangha, we take time to cultivate the energy of just being. Cultivating that energy that requires nothing of us and is an endless, constant source of vitality and essence. And a third conscious breath together. Releasing. And on this third breath, we invite into our awareness the present moment. This is all there is. And so here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin our services with a little bit of chanting. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition. Chanting is not about being a singer. It's about having a voice. It is about a deeply devotional expression of what is sacred within you and sharing that not only with our Sangha members near and far, but with the entire world. And our chant today is Om Vajrapani Hum, Om Vajrapani Hum. You might recognize the seed sound, Om. Very common in many yoga studios and Eastern practices. In Sanskrit, Om is the sound of the universe, reminding each one of us that we are a beautiful note in a grand cosmic symphony that is forever playing. And Vajrapani honors the energy of the awakened mind, that boundless, endless energy of the awakened mind that is not distracted in any way by external circumstances. And in Sanskrit, hum means I am that. And so together, we'll take one more conscious breath as we begin. Together. Om Vajrapani Hum. 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 With a smile. Om Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum. Once more. Om Vajrapani Hum. And so here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism. Western Buddhism is a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. And this new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, it's growing and changing with us as we learn more about this beautiful human condition. It is also dynamic and active, it is inclusive, and it focuses on core Buddhist insights as well as mindfulness, meditation, and their practical applications in our daily lives. Our goal here is not to get everyone to agree on a specific lineage or philosophy or sect of Buddhism, but rather it is on a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting together, sharing from the heart, or spending time in noble silence, we respect that you will participate at a level that is comfortable for you. And we take refuge in the three jewels of Buddhism and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature, as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, bringing a fresh and a new perspective to each and every encounter. And the second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear, from delusion, and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And finally, our Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. And at this time, I'd also like to welcome our Sangha that is joining us from all around the world via our live stream and our Facebook live stream as well. Welcome, everyone. We lovingly refer to sometimes as the PJ Sangha, although we understand not everybody's in their PJs. Some people may be fully dressed and ready to go. So at this time, go ahead and please silence any cell phones or electronic devices. And if you're at home, oil the hamster wheel or put a blanket over the parrot, whatever you need to do to create an environment or an atmosphere of meditation and contemplation. We're going to begin with the prayer of refuge, which we recite 3 times for the 3 jewels. Together, in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, We go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. And so, as we prepare now for a time in meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then we invite you to practice in a way that is fitting for you this morning. If, however, perhaps you are newer to meditation, then we're going to begin with a dedication of intention. We will awaken the bell 3 times for the 3 jewels. And then our teacher today, Mr. Robert Brumet, will lead us in a guided meditation that's designed to assist you in moving into the stillness. We will spend approximately 10 to 12 minutes this morning in noble silence, connecting with each other and the entire world in consciousness. Afterwards, Robert will bring us out of meditation and we will sound the return bell, and then it will be time for today's Dharma talk or teaching. And so with that, let's take a conscious breath together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
As the sound of the bell fades into the silence, I invite you to follow that sound into the silence of your own being. Not simply the silence of no external sound, but the deeper silence, beyond thoughts, beyond physical sensations, beyond any circumstances in your life. Deep within you, that silence, that is what you are. That basic goodness. I invite you to just taste the silence. Let yourself feel it as if it were a living being. Coming to know the silence as something very alive. In this silence is the source of your life, the source of all that you know to be real, and the source of all that is. This silence is both empty and full. The silence is like the breath. There's a rhythm to it. Rising and falling, a heartbeat. And when you find that place deep within you, it's always there, but typically goes unnoticed. When you find that place, the quiet, the silence, the beingness, let it become as big as it wishes to be. Let it touch every part of your life. Let it touch every part of your being. Listening to the sound of silence. Deep, deep within. That sound that is silence itself. returning your awareness to the breath. Feeling the sensations in your body. Feeling the body sit on the chair, the cushion, the bench. Aware of thinking. Become aware of hearing. In a few moments, the bell will ring. And when that happens, I invite you to very slowly open the eyes and take in the experience of seeing. And as you do that, continue the practice of being aware. And see if you can be aware of the silence, even while you're seeing and hearing, thinking and feeling. Now here's the sound of the bell. Good morning, everyone. Happy March. A couple of years ago, at one of our retreats, Victor and I had a little comic relief at the celebration of New Year's. And we had a little shtick where we called it karma talk. You've heard of car talk probably, or some of you have, you know, when Click and Clack on NPR, people would call in with trouble with their cars. Well, in our show, people, if they had trouble with their karma, they would call in and they would get advice from one of us. So that graphic there is just perfect. That's the phone that we used to use. And one of the phone calls I remember that really stuck with me was somebody called in and they said they had an antique 300 BC Vajrayana, also known as a diamond vehicle. They paid a lot of money for it. It was quite beautiful, but it wouldn't start. Wouldn't get going. So Victor told them to chant 3 Oms, call them in the morning. And sure enough, that did it. Their karma got started again, you say. They called back a little later. They weren't happy with their karma. They said their karma backed up and ran over their dogma. Doggone. Anyway, you got a taste of the dukkha that we presented. We had half the people were smiling and half the people were moaning. And we were sending compassion to all of them. Karma. What do you think of? What comes to your mind when you hear that word, karma? For most of us here in the West, we may think of some kind of a overdue bill, like a credit card, where we lived it up on vacation, and then we get the statement saying that your payment's due, your karma's due. We think of karma as sort of a punishment or paying off something we did wrong, possibly. Or maybe we think of karma as fate. It's something that's got to happen. It's my karma. I've met people that have been in great difficult circumstances, and they believed it was their karma that they were given that, and they just had to suffer through it. So there's all sorts of beliefs about karma, and some may not believe in karma at all. Some think it's a old belief that's no longer applicable in our country. So I'd like to talk about it, just to share with you some ideas about what karma is and what it isn't, and let you decide for yourself what your response to karma is and how you want to make it part of your practice. Because I think it can be a very, very important part of our practice. So to begin with, I'd invite you to forget everything you think you know or what comes to mind when you think of karma. Debt, punishment, fate, whatever seems to be there, just let it go. The word karma itself simply means action. Karma means action, and in action in the sense of all actions, not just physical actions, but mental, emotional, volition, choices we make is an action, thoughts we have, emotions, words, physical actions, decisions we make. Karma refers to all of that. And karma basically is the law of cause and effect. It's somewhat the spiritual counterpart of Newton's, I think it's Newton's second law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Basically, karma is saying the same thing. It's cause and effect. For every action, there is a reaction. So we look at karma as having three stages. Before there's an action that we're aware of, there's an intention. Anytime we say something, do something, there's a seed, there's an intention that begins that process. When you woke up this morning, you began the day with an intention. Maybe it's the intention to brush your teeth or comb your hair or whatever it may be. Presumably you had the intention to come here. So karma begins with intention. The second stage of karma is the action itself, the doingness, speaking, thinking, acting, deciding. And the third part is the result, the effect. These three are inseparable. Now, to us, they're not the same because the action and the result may be separated by long periods of time. But time is irrelevant in this particular paradigm. You know, whether the reaction, the result is a day or 10,000 years is really not relevant. What's relevant is that karma is impeccable. It's a law just like any other natural law. Now, it doesn't mean that if you kick a dog, you're going to come back as a dog and somebody's going to kick you. You don't have to take it literally. But what it means is if we do something out of meanness, somehow that's going to come back to us, simply because we haven't learned something. That's all it is. It's a great big classroom. We're here to learn. Now, we may not remember kicking that dog when a decade or a lifetime later some dog bites us. Maybe the same dog or not, I don't know. But there's a learning that takes place. There's a compassion that occurs when we experience the result of our own actions. Today there's a movement called restorative justice, which is based on that same principle. You know, if somebody victimizes someone else, if somebody commits a crime where there's a victim, somebody's hurt, it's like, okay, rather than being punished, let's show you, the perpetrator, the results of your action, what it feels like. Let them talk to you. Let yourself be in their shoes. Sometimes there's even role play being done. And it really is quite effective. So rather than think of karma as punishment, I think of karma as learning. And it's a learning that really, even though we think we're separate, we think that what we do doesn't impact ourselves because that's somebody else or something else. Not so. You know, we're learning that with the environment now, the ecology. You know, a few centuries ago, we believed we could do anything we wanted to the earth, and it didn't matter. But now we're seeing that the earth, the biosphere, is really part of us. We're part of it. And what we do or don't do is going to impact ourselves. You see? So karma is much the same way. It's saying that you are part of the universe, and whatever you do to the universe will come back to you as a way of teaching you what you need to learn. If I'm cruel to someone else, it means I really don't understand what it's like to be at the other end of my mean words or mean deeds, you see. So once I realize that, then that learning has taken place. Now that's a learning deep within the soul, whatever you want to call that deepest self within us, that essential self that's much more than the body and even the mind. I'm not going to talk about all the soul, self, no self, reincarnation, all of that. That can get very complicated and abstruse. What's important is that we're talking about learning here. So this is seen and has been seen for a long time by people everywhere. Ralph Waldo Emerson, most of you have heard of, I'm sure. He was an American philosopher, teacher in the 1800s. He called it the law of compensation. And he writes this in one of his essays on compensation. Cause and effect, means and ends, seed and fruit cannot be severed. For the effect already blooms in the cause, the end pre-exists in the means, and the fruit exists in the seed. So cause, effect, seed and fruit, means and ends, it's all one and the same. To us, it's separated by time. You know, I have an intention, and then I act on that intention, and there's a result of my action, and that seems to be spread out over minutes, hours, days, centuries, whatever, you see. But in reality, that's all one and the same thing. And it's often been said that the first step is the most important, because the wheel of karma, it says, spins on the axle of intention. So the intention behind the action is what's really crucial. You know, if a sniper is trying to shoot somebody and they miss, they haven't killed anybody. If you have a gun and it accidentally goes off and you shoot somebody, you've killed somebody. Now, that doesn't mean that the sniper is free from karma, and it doesn't mean that you accumulated bad karma necessarily. Your intention was not to shoot the person. Now, you may have karma for carrying a gun or whatever, but the point is, the intention is what carries out the result of the action. You know, another example is a little bit graphic, but if one person sticks a knife inside another, what kind of karma does result from that? Well, you could be Jack the Ripper, killing somebody, or you could be a surgeon, saving somebody's life. You know, you may be doing the same thing, but with very different intention, you see. So, one of the things that comes out of this understanding of karma for me is to really be clear of my intentions. Why am I here? Why am I saying what I'm saying? Why am I choosing to do what I'm choosing to do? Not why from an analytical point or a psychological point, not trying to analyze anything, but just from your own heart. What's motivating me? Why am I here? Why do I meditate? You know, why do you come to TBC? Why are you part of a Sangha? Why do you, whatever you're doing or not doing? What's my intention? Another way to look at karma is that everything in your life right now is a result of karma. Everything in your life now is a result of the past, of cause and effect. This building didn't just blossom at 8:59 and then it's been around for a long time. But it began in the past. Your body began in the past. So everything you have, everything you are, is the result of something you or someone has done in the past. So the present moment, the conditions of the present moment, are really the seed, or the fruition, I should say, of seeds that have been planted in the past. This building is here because somebody had an intention. You're here because you had an intention. Victor and I and Ricky are doing what we're doing because we have certain intentions. You know, the TBC was created out of a certain intention. If you're in a relationship with someone, you're coming together out of a certain intention. So looking at that, living intentionally can be extremely important. Even the personal characteristics of yourself. You know, whether you're an introvert or you're an extrovert, or, you know, whether you're got blue eyes or brown eyes, or whatever the case might be, all of that is the result of the past. And I'm not saying you caused all of it, but I'm saying something did. You didn't build this building, and yet you were part of this building because you are here now. You are part of this Sangha because you are here right now, because of your intention. So we come together with others who are in alignment with our intentions often. What's your intention for living? If your intention is similar to mine, we can create a relationship of some sort, and then a mutual building takes place out of that. A learning takes place out of that. So we make karma, and karma makes us. That's really what karma is. It's a creative process. Karma also is not fate. Karma will create propensities, inclinations. You know, for example, certain people have a propensity for maybe alcoholism or some form of addiction. You know, it's believed it may be genetic or not, but the point is, certain people have that propensity. Two people can have a drink. One of them stops after one or two. The other one doesn't stop till they fall over. Now, there is a propensity, but there's not fate. So the person that becomes an alcoholic doesn't have to become an alcoholic, but it's much, much easier for them to do that, you see. And so when we live unintentionally, what happens is that our karma then is like a rut in the road, and that's what we follow. Our karma will unfold in a way that we follow what we have, what our inclinations, our propensities. So it may be more difficult for some of us to get up in the morning and be here. For some of us, it might be a joy. But either way, whether it's hard or it's easy, you have the choice. Karma does not take away your power of choice. But it does make some choices harder to implement for some people than others. Did the Buddha teach karma? No, karma was actually a very common belief back then. The Buddha taught, he believed in karma, certainly. The Hindu teaching was about the wheel of samsara, which is the rebirth over and over again, because suffering driving the wheel of rebirth. And the Buddha said you can get off that wheel. That's really the key of his teachings, is you can get off the wheel of suffering. And that's what this practice is all about. So you don't have to keep coming back. You could if you want to, but you don't have to. You may find other places you want to go. So that's the whole power of knowing about karma, is creating the intention. And when you create an intention, you're sowing a seed. And on the other end of that, whatever you experience in your life now is the fruit of some seed that was sown in the past. And you have an opportunity then to choose differently if you want. You see, that's really the bottom line. Is it necessary to believe in karma? No. A lot of people practice Buddhism that don't believe in karma. But when I have a question about something that really can't be answered, I mean, there's no way to prove whether karma is true or not, I just ask the question, what if everybody in the world believed in this? What would the world be like? Would it be better or not? I think it would be much better. And I'll close very quickly. I was talking to someone one time who was a teacher in elementary school in Japan. And I said, do you have any behavioral issues with the kids? And she said, not one. And these are like 12-year-olds. She says she's taught for 8 years and never had one issue. And I just was stunned. And she says that's because those kids in Japan believe in karma. They believe that everything they do is going to come back and visit them in the future. At the Olympics, the Japanese Olympic team scrubbed, cleaned the locker room. When they left, it was cleaner than when they came. The Japanese fans that sat in a certain section for the Olympics did the same thing. They picked up every scrap of paper. When they left, that section was as clean as a whistle. Because they believe that what they do creates the future for them, you see. So again, I'm not saying that's true, that you have to believe it. I believe it's true. But the point is, the world would be so much better if we all took responsibility for the fact that we're creating our own future with every intention we have. So lest I create more karma by taking up too much time, I will say thank you for sharing the Dharma with us this morning, and let our intention be for the welfare of all beings. That's why we practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robert. So let's take a moment and move from our heads into our hearts as we prepare now for a heart practice. And it's not unusual to shift your posture or take a conscious breath or adjust your clothing as we transition from the Dharma talk into a heart practice. And this week, our heart practice is a heart expansion. And so with all of the heart practices that we do, it is a meditative situation. And so we want to go ahead and take time now to get the wiggles out and just take a moment to drop in. Of course, relaxing the body. If you have to take another conscious breath or two, perhaps closing our eyes and beginning to relax any physical tension that might be held in the body. And just establishing a new consciousness as we go from that listening to the Dharma talk and resonating to a heart practice where we open our hearts. And it's not uncommon for an outward gesture to be made. Some folks like to do the Anjali Mudra or the prayer hands, the heart focusing. Some folks like to just place a hand on their heart. Or if you would like for your hands to remain on your lap, sometimes you can just flip them upside down, palms facing upward in this expression or gesture of moving outward. And so we begin by resting in the heart space, feeling the warmth, the love, the light emanating from the heart. Pure, clear, bright. Now allow that love and that light to intensify, filling your entire body, down into the belly, the hips, the legs, into the shoulders, the neck, head, and arms. And so that the whole body becomes this love, this light, and this warmth. And we recite silently to ourselves these words of heart practice. May my thoughts, words, and deeds be of service to all beings in all places. May my thoughts, words, and deeds be of service to all beings in all places. Now allow that love, that light, that warmth to intensify further so that it begins to spill outside of your own skin and bones, where you become a beacon, a light, and it fills this room. And as it fills this room, it surrounds, touches everyone in it. May my thoughts, words, and deeds be of service to all beings in all places. Letting the heart light and the warmth expand even further now to take in everyone in this building, filling the entire building with love and light. May my thoughts, words, and deeds be of service to all beings in all places. Seeing your love and your light expand even further now to encompass our city, all the beings in it, the animals, the plants, the flowers, everything in our city. May my thoughts, words, and deeds be of service to all beings in all places. And now allowing that warmth, that love emanating from your heart to enfold our state. All the leaders, all the first responders, those who may be sick, those who may be experiencing homelessness, all the animals and the plants in our state. May my thoughts, words, and deeds be of service to all beings in all places. The human heart is vast and expands now to include our country. From border to border, above and below, may my thoughts, words, and deeds be of service to all beings in all places. And as our hearts come together now, energetically we take hands and surround the earth with this same love, light, and warmth that emanates from our hearts. And together in our hearts, may my thoughts, words, and deeds be of service to all beings in all places. Let's take a conscious breath together now. And as you release that breath, be present in the here, in the now, in this time, and in this place. And in the true spirit of Dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services here are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, which means not in return for anything that you have received today, but rather so that those who may be seeking refuge may find it here with this community, with these teachers, and with these teachings. And the Dana boxes are located at the back of the meditation hall. And as we prepare now to end our time together, we will recite the Bodhicitta dedication. We do take a moment of gratitude for all of our volunteers, gratitude for all of our ambassadors, gratitude to Ricky for your wonderful music. Thank you, Ricky. Gratitude to Robert Brumet. Thank you, Robert, for your kindness, your friendship, your wisdom, sharing the talk. And of course, gratitude to each and every one of you for everything that you do to bring your heart, your presence. I have to go fast today. There's a lot of us now. To bring your heart, your presence, and your practice for all of us here in our Sangha, both near and far. And so with that, and don't forget the heavenly abodes. And so with that, our Bodhicitta dedication. Together, may the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with the palms of our hands together in front of our hearts, as we go forth now from this place, may we enter each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. Just a couple brief announcements. Our lending library is actually overflowing, so please come by here as the service ends and check out and see if there is some Dharma that wants to go home with you. Don't forget, we have crumble cookies. Thank you, Carrie. Downstairs with tea, coffee, and there's our post-service discussion group. Now follows every one of our services, both of them. The first post-service discussion group is at the meditation doors to the left in the hall. Some folks like to grab a coffee and go to that. Our second one is downstairs right below the hallway. Today's the last day for that. Starting from now on, that post-service discussion group for the 10:30 service is going to be right above us in classroom C, right behind us there. And very, very important, don't forget, our full moon meditation is coming up very, very soon, as in like this coming Friday. And we did move it to the Center for Spiritual Living, which is not even 8 minutes from here, over on 39th Street. And that's because of the construction going on downstairs in Unity Hall. So it'll be from 7 to 9, dances of universal peace. We're going to build a flower mandala, and there will be chanting. So I hope you can join us for that. Thank you, Gabrielle, she's starting to lead yoga every Saturday at 10 a.m. now. And also, I will put this up here for you. Lots of stuff coming up. So please check our website, templebuddhistcenter.com, or our Facebook page. And again, thank you, everyone, and peace and blessings as you go into your day.